I think you're going to court. You need Swahili? Kigamba? Nisa. And it worries when we are at a time when we are doing our constitution, when we are amending our constitution, which will inform our lives and the lives of our children long after this, and we've left it to few individuals. A few individuals have taken it up as if it is theirs, and they have nothing to do with our children. They have nothing. They have nothing to do with the whole country. They are just Kenyans within Kenya. So I would first urge for political awareness by each and every Kenyan. This is our process. The constitution making is a people-driven process. For instance, we've seen anybody talking of BBI and how it should come out and whether it will be opened or there's no room for consensus or what. It's about Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga has very few years to live in this country. We have kids who are born today. They will have so much of time to be in this country. This constitution is more important to that young mother, to the 22-year-old mother and her kid compared to Raila Odinga. So I would urge the youth and all Kenyans not to leave this very sensitive matter to Raila Odinga. Because when Raila Odinga's voice, it is like the voice that every Kenyan has to follow, or is like God in a way delivered a constitution to Raila, which he should give us as Kenyans, then we should go by that. I think as Kenyans, we need to come out and be aware of our take and also participate fully into this. It doesn't matter whether Raila is using the BBI to get power or to do what. What matters is the person who is going to be the executive of our country at any given time should directly be elected by every Kenyan through their votes. The person who is going to be the chief executive of our country, be it a prime minister, be it a president, be it a chief, has to be directly elected by Mwananchi. That's all what matters. The way the president put it, we need to build consensus because of two reasons. If we went for a contested referendum, we expect no yes teams. This will call for divisions in the country before the next general elections, which is very near, 1.5 years to come. Secondly, if we went for a referendum, it will call for over 10 billion shillings 10 billion Kenya shillings to be spent on a referendum. But if we agreed, we had consensus for an uncontested, which will call for an uncontested referendum, we will not spend all this money on a referendum. Number two, and we are in such a bad economic situation. We are spending 10 billion on this. We need teachers. We need electricity connection. Why should we spend 10 billion on a referendum when we can agree at this level? Number two is now that element of creating division. If we went to campaigns having a no-yes team, that will go all the way to the next general elections, and what we were fighting for to have no bloodshed after elections, this is a recipe for bloodshed after elections if we went for a contested referendum. I'm worried. I've seen Kenyans being quiet at an opportune time when the country is trying to inform our next constitution. And it is very clear that the constitution is changing in early next year. So first is I would urge all Kenyans to come out and participate in this without fear, without feeling intimidated. And there are some things we need to look into as we go on with the process. First is the views of every citizen should be included. Secondly is the administration of the process. The constitution making process is should be a people-driven process, not a leaders or a political class-driven process. And what I would say about giving our views is, first I will go back to where I'm elected from, in Kitui County. It is very clear that Kitui County is the second largest county in Kenya after Kakamega. And what we've seen recently with the final proposals from the BBI, which was unveiled in Bomas of Kenya, Kitui County got no extra administrative or political unit. We never got an extra constituency. Mwingi County, Mwingi was there as a county in the 2010 constitution. It was removed in the last minute. So what we are saying is the BBI report, the task force, should include Mwingi County in what is going to be approved by the country as our next constitution. Mwingi County has to be there as a county receiving its resources as a unit of devolution in this country. Secondly, Kitui needs an extra constituency. Kitui County is bigger than both Makueni and Machakos County combined. And Makueni and Machakos County combined, they've gotten 3 extra constituencies. So how do we leave out Kitui County without an extra constituency? So we are also looking and urging, and we've given our proposals that Kitui County should get an extra constituency in the name of Kitui Municipality Constituency. Secondly, you look at Kitui County is bigger in terms of land, in terms of population, than the 3 counties of Northeastern, Garissa, Mandera, Wajir. Kitui County is bigger than Garissa, Mandera, and Wajir. And they are all units of devolution. They are all counties receiving their own share from the national government. Then how comes we say that BBI is good for the country when Kitui remains so huge in terms of landmass and population and no extra unit? So that means no extra resources to Kitui County. On the other thing about Kitui County we want to talk about is the Moi Coal Basin is in Kitui County. It is cutting across 3 constituencies: the constituency of Kitui South, the constituency of Kitui East, the constituency of Mwingi Central. It's cutting across 4 sub-counties. What does that mean? It means if coal is being mined, if coal mining in Kenya is allowed, it means people from those 4 sub-counties will be affected by this law. So in the BBI report, it should be very clear that the country is going to outlaw, Kenya should outlaw coal mining in our country through the BBI report. And that will sort out the whole mess of people living in fear of being moved from their land, or people being affected by environmental hazards when coal is being mined. Failure to which the BBI report will find serious handles with our people in Kitui, and especially the rural Kitui, because that's where the Moi Coal Basin is. The other thing we are looking at is now the process. We've had an independent task force receiving reports from wananchi, receiving views from interest groups, receiving views from economic regions. But after the report which was unveiled by the president in Bomas the other day, a trade as script now where when you want, first is the BBI reports it was unveiled by the president cannot be opened. The president was very clear that is given an opportunity and is going to appoint a more sectoral team to incorporate the new ideas and whatever ideas Mwananchi is bringing forth, whatever interested groups, county governors, all these groups are bringing for inclusion in the BBI report, what Kitui County is bringing. And we are very, very happy with the president opening that window, because that will give us an uncondensed, an opportunity to create a consensus, which will lead to an uncondensed referendum. So what we are looking at is, after the president had given that window of opening of the BBI report for more discussion and building of consensus, Raila Odinga has gone ahead and said the BBI report cannot accommodate any further interest from another group. I think that should be stopped. We've also seen a trend that interest groups, communities, economic blocs, if you want, after the president said he's going to build consensus and allow more reports to the BBI, we've seen groups being forced, instead of taking your requirements, instead of taking your proposals to the independent task force, you are being forced to take your proposals to Raila Odinga. For heaven's sake, this calls for interpretation by the court. And if Raila Odinga, we ask the president to stop Raila Odinga from acting as a broker between Kenyans and the constitution-making process. We can't allow Raila Odinga to be the broker between interested groups, communities, and how their reports, how their input gets to the BBI report. That cannot be allowed. So we are approaching it in two ways. First is president should stop Raila Odinga from doing that, because that was contrary to what the president said. The other thing is, we will be going to court to get an interpretation, and the court, first thing, will pray to court to stop the constitution-making process happening in this country currently. Until that time, Raila Odinga stops from receiving reports from Mwananchi, unlike where reports should not be taken directly to the independent task force. And thus, all these flaws, all these irregularities, which has been committed in the process of coming up with the referendum bill and the referendum question, will be put into task when we head to court later this week, because we will not allow a process that is made to affect the lives of our children long after we are gone to be possessed, to be taken up by one individual and ruin the whole thing. So thank you for listening to us, and we are happy for that.